Wheeler Dealers used to be a television star, and Edd China was with his orange gloves, and Edd China, an inventive mind, captivated millions of people watched at its peak because of his success. He left quickly. Without giving any details about what really took place with Edd China in 2017 news that Edd China is leaving after 13 years, Wheeler Dealers were shocked. The worldwide group of car fans that this skilled mechanic's exit was not only shocked but also sparked a lot of real-life arguments and guesses. Everything began with major changes behind the scenes after more than a Wheeler Dealers had a decade of success. Velocity is in charge of a new producer, wants to make the show better. Their ambition came with a catch. Planned to change the formula that had made the show famous. In particular, Velocity wanted to lower both of the length and level of technical workshop parts are the ones where Edd made masterpieces out of old cars. But what's interesting is that I set the world record for moving furniture. The fastest about it was 87 miles per hour about 20 years ago, in 1998. These were more than just parts, they were what made the show go. The reason why a lot of people tuned in an official statement, Edd said that speed tried to make the repair easier. Process to cut down on the cost of production. Thought people didn't need complicated technical explanations or in-depth video, but Edd thought this was rude. Called it an act against the spirit of Wheeler Dealers to fix his cars. It wasn't just a job, it was an art form. Way to get people to pick up a wrench and get to work on their own. The decision about vehicle speed put Edd in a tough spot: stay and keep going a show he didn't believe in it anymore, or leave. Edd chose the second option to stay true to his values. He told Wheeler that he was leaving. Many people thought that Dealers leaving a void could never be filled. It wasn't an easy. Fans of choice were split. Some praised Edd for staying true to what he loved, and they called him for standing by his principles. He was the workshop's hero and a sign of. Even so, not everyone agreed on authenticity. Some people on Reddit and other forums, the Drive Tribe, said that Edd they thought he overreacted and asked if he thought he played in the show more than it was. Others thought he had given up on his audience and the people who worked on the show put together Wheeler Dealers with him from the beginning. There were even rumors suggesting that Velocity made the right choice was not just because of money, but also because pressure from sponsors who want a better updated the show to attract a wider audience viewership. No matter what the truth is, what we know for sure is that Edd left. Wheeler Dealers lost some of their soul because of the rumors. And the truth's the story didn't end. There was this choice that was really just about making things, or were there deeper secrets at play? When the news came out, broke the community of car fans, was a lot of talk quickly spread about a battle between Edd and Mike Brewer, the co-host and longtime partner of 13 years. But the truth behind it was a lot more complicated than how the rumor was shown on social media. Started with a post on the Piston in 2017. The Heads forum cited an unnamed source. The post said that Mike Brewer had Edd was called a traitor for leaving the show. Supposed to have left Mike without warning producers on their own to deal with pressure and complaints from fans about the news. Spread quickly on Twitter and split the fans. One group sided with Mike, saying that Edd was selfish for leaving a longtime friend. The others stood by Edd, accusing Mike of not being there for him in the battle with Velocity. Edd spoke out to make things clear in a March 2017 video on his own YouTube account. He said on the channel, "Mike and I built Wheeler Dealers, made the choice to I was on leave, but it wasn't because of an issue with Mike, who is a friend and I've always looked up to him. A reason was given to calm people down." Even though the lack of information caused many to still think he was hiding something, Edd's words made it sound like he wanted to keep a good impression of his get along with Mike and avoid more. Mike Brewer did not stay because of the controversy radio in 2018 but didn't say anything. Times he told an emotional story. "I was shocked when Edd told me he was leaving. Sad because we had spent so many years. I cried when I heard the news." I don't blame Edd. He had his own reason, and I hope the best for. We both want to make this sincere confession hit home with some viewers who understood how painful it was for Mike to lose his long-term partner. At the same, he didn't say anything about the fight with Velocity, which made some people think Mike might have played with the producers instead of pushing back Edd. The fan community became less united. After 2019, Reddit posts said Mike was taking advantage of Edd's departure. They noticed that Mike kept hosting the new parts to the show, like Ant Anstead and Mark Priestley, while Edd had to start over with workshop. One comment on the subreddit about diaries, "Mike seems perfect," was written on Arbac cars. "It's okay for the show to go on without Edd. He wants fame and money more than these views fueled friendship." There were rumors that they were dating was already getting worse, and Edd's departure was just the surface of a bigger problem. It looked like there would be trouble in 201. Edd and Mike showed up at a virtual event together. They held a charity event for classic cars. It made people laugh, remember, and show the same as though nothing had changed. One classic car weekly quotes an attendee, "It looked like Edd and Mike were just finished filming a Wheeler episode for Dealers. There was no sign of stress at all." Of this brought back hopes that their friendship stayed. Still, the fact that neither of often talked about each other, and later some people had doubts because of their own projects. Whether the get-together was real or just a show to make people feel better a concern. Some of the audience pressure was also during the story. After Edd left, Mike had to deal with a lot of mean comments on social media sites. In thousands of comments, people called him a traitor for continuing to work with Wheeler Dealers. In a 2017 tweet Mike wrote without Edd replied, "I don't have control over everything on Wheeler Dealers. It's just that I want to do my job and make people happy. Please don't blame me." This message showed how Mike was feeling. Strain, but it also caused a debate. If he could have done more to get Edd to stay, at least in public. Help his friend by telling Edd the truth isn't what it seems to be between and Mike. Somewhere between a rumor and the truth, feeling that there isn't any clear proof of open conflict. But Edd's leaving was clear. Fans thought it was a riff. Some people think Mike didn't do enough to let Edd stay on the show, while others feel sorry for the stress Mike was under anyway to keep the program going. This story shows how heavy the weight is of what audiences expect and the media close attention that put a long-standing friendship in the face of intense public study. Guide YouTube dream. After leaving as of Wheeler Dealers, Edd China quit. From being famous on mainstream TV to writing many fans who love his own story, seeing he put all of his money on YouTube is putting out the Workshop Diaries as an expression of unbridled love for Workshop Diaries on restoring cars. First showed in 2018. In the first video, he said, "This is my workshop where there's no script editing, only cars and love." The series was about one-of-a-kind projects, from fixing up an old Volkswagen Beetle to building strange machines like the world's fastest shopping cart. Is an impressive feat that made him a Guinness World Record holder in 2018. These videos quickly got hundreds of thousands of views from fans. Edd's clear and interesting technical talk was missed. Reasons given by Wheeler Dealers: the fans liked Workshop Diaries a lot. To make sure it's real, a post on Drive, "What does Edd bring back?" Tribe wrote. Dealers lost step-by-step guides for fixing cars. Like his videos often go over 20 minutes, and sometimes an hour, giving clear instructions from taking out engines to make custom parts fabrication. Edd kept live streams going to share and answer questions from the audience, repair tips that make you feel like. Link to the new Wheeler version deals couldn't be matched. By 2025, YouTube channel had more than 500,000 views. Subscribers, which is a big deal for a channel just for mechanical content. Not everyone was happy with Workshop Diaries. Were criticized for not having enough broad appeal, according to an article in Autocar. Said in 2020, "Edd is a brilliant, he is an engineer, but not a TV. His videos are long and don't have any the drama viewers needed to stay interested." Besides car fans on Reddit, some spoke out more negative opinions, saying Edd did a mistake by leaving a show having million viewers to go after a smaller. It was possible to compare platforms. While Wheeler Dealers kept airing with a new mechanic and kept its audience, Edd had to get people to watch his show again from scratch. Money problems also turned into a big problem without Velocity's help. Generous budget that Edd personally. How much it costs to film the workshop tools and a small support team. In a 2021 live stream, he said, "Doing YouTube isn't simple. For months, I had to keep track of every penny, keep the series going." Still, Edd wouldn't promote anything unrelated. To keep the products fresh, fans liked how honest the channel was. This choice was made after a 2023 study in Motor One said, while Mike Brewer worked together with big brands, Edd picked a separate Wheeler Dealer path that made it hard for him to climb. In spite of these problems, Edd continued to stand out by achieving important things. Besides the Guinness record he set, cool projects like the Casual Loofah, a mobile sofa, and held charity events with classic car brands, and wrote, "Edd doesn't only fix cars, he makes unique experiences that show passion can win any limit." He also had people over like Chris Fix is an automotive engineer who to work together to bring in younger audiences and offer a range of content. Edd's story of success is often judged by with the wheeler dealers in the background. Some say he found freedom to be creative and devoted people who agreed with him ideals. In an interview with Auto in 2024, leaving Wheeler Express, Edd said YouTube Dealers was the right choice, lets me do what I love the way I'd like to. Compare a 2025 an article on Autoculture.com said Edd might have gave up global power for a smaller. At one point they wrote down that Workshop Diaries, even though they are very good, rarely reached the million-view mark like the height of the Wheeler Dealer episodes aired in China. The history of YouTube shows that with unwavering dedication and passion, he made a place for him to be himself. It cost a lot, though, because scale and financial stress. While it may not live up to his old glory, Edd has shown there's no need for Wheeler Dealers to shine for him. China had a terrible time with his 800 mechanical skill and an inspiring style, became a figure that Wheeler loved the most. Even a master like him has fans, even so makes mistakes from time to time, and a costly 800 accident caused a lot of debate, bringing up questions about his being professional. At the same time, Edd's legacy, from his contributions to the world of cars to his role as an example to follow, continues to affect how people is aware of him. Even if not always in agreeing that the 800 event did happen during a Wheeler Dealers episode before Edd quit the show in 2017, but specifics only came to light in 2025 through a talk about Derbyshire Live. And in that episode of Nottinghamshire Live, Edd and the group was fixing up an old thing car after a repair mistake caused major damage. In particular, Edd guessed wrong about the state of a key part is thought to be the drivetrain and chose to fix it instead of getting a new one. Because of this, the part failed during testing. The team had to buy a new one for $80, was a big amount of money at the time. During the interview, Edd talked about what went wrong as a bad dream, saying, "It felt like it broke my heart to learn that a mistake cost the team a lot. Lesson. This mistake, not only there was financial loss and a heated debate between car fans on Reddit forum. Some people spoke up for Edd, saying that even though when the best mechanics make mistakes, one user on under RC Classic Cars, someone wrote, "Edd is a person and not a machine. A $800 mistake doesn't erase his hundreds of wins." They made a point of pointing out that Edd always kept things open about Wheeler Dealers are having technical problems regularly, going over the risks in fixing up old cars, and that the accident was just a way to learn process. And some even praised him for not hiding the mistake but admitting it. Like many TV shows personalities, not everyone was willing to forgive. Some people in the audience, in particular platforms like X, said bad things about Edd for the event, saying that one of his mechanics, that kind of experience shouldn't have led to such a basic mistake. A 2025 post on X said, "Edd, he has always been proud of how precise he was, but he lost $800 because of a mistake. Maybe he's not as good as we thought." Other points of view, like a Peace People in the Sun, said that the mistake Edd's professional image was hurt because it came out while he was trying to make a name for himself through Workshop Diaries. They thought that the event made people's doubts stronger. Not sure about his choice to leave Wheeler Dealers, are wondering if Edd was really able to lead major. Edd's story on his own projects more than just one mistake. His legacy is based on important contributions to in the car business and among car fans. People in the Wheeler Dealers community turned making fixing cars into an art form. Many people around the world to pick up a wrench and try to fix up an old car that he is given credit for explaining complicated, getting mechanical ideas across in an easy way. From rebuilding engines to making bodywork, even beginners feel like they can drive. In the Express wrote in 2023, Edd China doesn't just fix cars. He changed the way we see how classics can be changed, from turned scrap metal into treasures. Beyond Wheeler Dealers, Edd made a name for himself by projects for which he holds Guinness World Records with homemade machines like the in 2017, 69 Malik made it the world's fastest bed, and a fast shopping cart going 87 with Malabamic in 2018. These inventions show off not only technical skills, but also his fun side. He was loved not only for his creative spirit, not only as a mechanic but also as a when they talked to Classic. And Edd from Sports Car said, I want cars to not just be a way to get around the project has a story, and I hope you enjoy it. It makes people feel that way. Is good for the community because charitable work. He regularly does events to raise money for kids and classic cars to protect things like the London to Veteran Car Runs in Brighton are an event. Classic Car Weekly quotes the organizer in 2022 said, Edd brings more than his knowledge and heart are what he spent hours talking with fans who inspired the next generation of people who love old cars. These actions help build up his image as a person not only of talent but also. Edd's legacy is not one of kindness without a doubt. Some people think he left and cannot be replaced. Mark arguing that wheeler dealers never got as popular as it used to be. After he left, a 2024 Drive Tribe A poll found that 68% of fans still saw Edd as the show's heart. In a 2025 article in Motor One is Different, said Edd might have exaggerated his having an effect on the fact that wheeler dealers keep doing well with the new mechanics and a new format they suggested. Even though the $800 mistake was small, revealed Edd's limits in a brilliant auto mechanic but not important private life behind the turn the light away from the lens of the camera is a part of Edd China that not many people have seen. A story that will make you look at him in a brand new light. Edd is married to picture an interior designer in China who he called the wind that with love keeps me steady in a rare Instagram post in 2020. Unlike a lot of TV stars who they choose to show off their private lives, and Edd do not let Imagine be the center of attention. Fans will not know who she is. In a 2022 he did an interview with Classic and Sports Car and, Imagine doesn't care about cars, they said. She knows why I live for them, though. She's the one who gets me out of the shop when I want to forget about everything. According to a friend who was quoted by its Auto Express in 2023, Imagine sets up everything for workshop planners made from filming schedules budgeting. Edd may be able to fix cars, but fixes the mess in his life. This help shows how Edd has been able to keep the YouTube series is having a hard times, but Edd's personal life hasn't changed. Hasn't always been smooth. He's had days when having an emotional crisis, especially when starting over with his career after Wheeler. In a live stream on YouTube in 2021 Edd told them, there were nights I couldn't. Going to sleep made me wonder if I had the strength to keep up the criticism and pressure from the crowd. It was like walking a tightrope. This admission shocked everyone. Because Edd had always been a happy person, a later Reddit post included a funny picture. I felt better when I knew Edd has bad days too. Honor him even more. He's not a fake, just someone who wants to get through. Edd's being humble is what makes him stand out in the fun world of media. Even with millions of people of fans, he still lives in a simple house in the English suburbs and had a garage. There are old cars and a small corner over tea. In a talk with he told The Telegraph in 2024, I don't dream of fancy cars or mansions. What makes me happy is taking apart a car while sitting with Imagine. And Edd regularly replied to fan letters. It takes time to read and answer, writing letters by hand, a habit that many fans who were quoted in Classic in 2023. Car Weekly wrote, I wrote to thanks to Edd for making me want to fix my MG. He wrote back a 2-page letter. I cried when I got a letter with car repair tips. Reading it, Edd has also surprisingly as a hobby. He loves nature and likes to hike in the Lake District to find himself again, and he's also deeply interested in collecting old cars, many models with hundreds of them carefully arranged in his workshop. In the year 2022 Diaries video that made him laugh while he showed based on a model Austin Healey. This is the one car I don't have to stress about. Putting these facts together paints a picture of an everyday Edd China friend separate from his heroic TV shows in the same way that Edd's discretion has some Drive Tribe fans were upset about it. I think he's too shy, which makes it hard for them to link. An article from The Sun in 2024 said, Edd is a legend, but his privacy can help him get away from her people in a time when everyone shares. He is still a mystery in every way. On the other hand, Edd's supporters think his quiet personality makes him stand out. Edd doesn't need was written on Reddit to show off his personal life, to show he lets his work and character show how much he values them, say what he wants to say. China's secret life is a web of love struggles, and he is not only talented, but also simple. He is a mechanic and a loving husband. One who loves nature and has a sensitive heart is interested in small things. When the cameras stop rolling, Edd China is still a legend not only in the shop but also because of how he lives and loves. We've looked at the interesting journey of Edd China from the passionate mechanic of Wheeler leads to a sign of living by one's morals. His way is a beautiful melody, the subject of heated arguments and an heart that won't stop. After all, this is Edd China is really the hunter in the